Defunding the police. What does that mean? And why are lots of academics and social activists arguing for it? Let's find out. Hello everyone, welcome back to the attic. My name's Mark Jago. In this video, I wanted to just say a little bit about this idea of defunding the police. Recent events over the weekend, the vigil for Sarah Everard on Clapham Common and the way it was broken up by the police. I just feel it's really important to raise these issues to salience right now and to point you towards some of the fantastic academic work that's being done on these issues by some of my colleagues. If you're finding this kind of discussion interesting, useful, why don't you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get updates. So what is the idea behind defunding the police? And look, this isn't just a simple case of, oh, we don't like the police, so let's get rid of them, take away their funding. It's an idea that has a very, very long academic history and history in social activism. And the idea is to identify various functions that are currently performed by the police, but which we think, these functions will be better done by other institutions, organisations who are better equipped for dealing with those kind of things and in those areas who are trusted much better by the public. Okay, so let me give you an example. So over the weekend, we saw lots of images and news footage and videos of the vigil for Sarah Everard on Clapham Common and the way police were interacting with the crowd there. Okay, so what we see there is a group of police, mostly men, interacting in quite violent ways with the public who were mostly women. Okay, so whatever you think of what's going on there, that creates a certain image of the police in the public's mind. Okay, now let's consider someone who is the recent victim of, say, domestic abuse. Who are they going to get in touch with to help them through that process and maybe try and bring the perpetrator to justice? Well, at the moment, it has to be the police that you get in touch with. And when you contrast that with that kind of view, that image of the police we just talked about, that just doesn't feel appropriate. And I think a lot of people in that situation, they're not going to want to go through that process because of that kind of image they're going to have. And, on that basis, they might choose not to take this forward, even though they're the victim. So what people are arguing is that what this situation needs is specialist organisations for helping victims, which are distinct from the police, which are independent of the police, okay, which have specialist training, not just generic police training. And the funding that currently goes to the police for dealing with these kind of issues is taken from the police and given to these specialist organisations instead. Okay, so there we're seeing an argument for defunding the police and taking that funding and giving it to specialist, properly trained organisations instead. And part of the argument there is that the police don't have the trust of the people, the members of the public that they're meant to be serving, okay, like victims of domestic abuse. And it doesn't look very plausible that they're going to be regaining that trust. So really, I want to just highlight some research on these issues. So if you're interested in reading further about it, you can go and do that. One of the great things about working at Nottingham is I get to work with colleagues who work on these issues. So as well as teaching logic and metaphysics and stuff, I also help to run the Nottingham Centre for Social Philosophy. One of our members there, Koshka Duff, a lot of her research has been on police violence and defunding and abolishing the police. She's got a lot of her research online. I've put some links to it below. A lot of it's freely available, so you can go and read that if you want to. She's editing a book on this. It's called Abolishing the Police, an illustrated introduction. I've put a link to that down below where you can read a free sample chapter. So, if you are interested in these issues or you just want to find out more about what they mean and what the arguments for them are, I really encourage you to go and look at the research rather than just kind of jumping to knee-jerk conclusions. Okay, so as always, if you've got any questions on this, leave me a comment below. And I always say on this channel, there's no such thing as a bad question. But look, these issues are obviously very sensitive, very emotive. So, you know, there is such a thing as a bad comment. So if you are going to leave me a comment, just be kind of sensible about it. As a general rule of thumb, just don't be a dick about it and we're fine. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, hit the bell icon to get updates. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you guys next time.